starting from the content, which includes introduction, background study, aim and objectives, methodology, implementation, result and analysis, conclusion, and future scope. The introduction include machine learning, which is on which my project is based. We know that machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence, and both machine learning, artificial intelligence, and deep learning are the major research areas nowadays. And the goal of machine learning is to predict for predictions from the past experience or the past data that we have. And there are different definitions of machine learning given by different scientists, one including Herbert Simon, which says that learning is any process by which a system improves performance from experience. So we also very well know that, let's say, if you are not good in mathematics, so you have done the question for the first time, maybe you are not able to solve it. Second time, maybe you are able to solve it to some extent. And after a lot of practice, there will be a time when you will be able to solve that questions, and in future, based on your past experience, that is your learning for mathematical problems, you will be able to solve that question that you see in the future, which is based on the kind of practice that you have done in the past. Also, there is one more definition given by Tom Michel in 1998, which says that machine learning is the study of algorithms that improve their performance, denoted by P, at some task denoted by capital T with experience E, and in general, a well-defined learning task is defined by PTE. Now, the traditional programming includes data and the program which is fed into the computer on the basis of which the output is calculated. But here in machine learning, the trend is different. Here we are inputting the data as well as the output, and which are given to the computer. Basically, I give you a simple example for that. If you have to predict the salary of a person on the basis of some input parameters, how are you going to calculate it? So once you are training your computer or the model, what you do is, there are, let's say, some parameters to calculate the salary of a person, including the number of years of work experience, then the last salary withdrawn, the technical skills, the communication skills, which will calculate the salary, right? So let's say we have the data of 10,000 people, and we have the entries for all these four parameters, and for these parameters we are given the salary also. So what we do is, we are inputting the four parameters of all the 10,000 people along with their salaries to the model. Now with the given behavior and pattern, the model is going to detect the salary of a person with different parameters in future. So we are training we are training the computer, we are training the model with the given data set, and data is data as well as the output. Now, what are the features of machine learning? The features of machine learning includes an automated data visualization with the help of different important libraries present in Python, including Matplotlib and Seaborn. Also, automation and even customer engagement, and the ability to take efficiency to the next level when emerging with IoT. Both IoT and machine learning are trending areas. When mixed together, will lead to prominent research and also used for accurate data analysis. Now, there are some advantages as well as disadvantages of machine learning. The advantages are it easily identifies the trends and patterns from the given data. There is no human intervention needed, and there is continuous improvement in the results with the help of the given input and the machine learning models. And it is also helpful in handling the multi-dimensional and multi-variety of data that is present. Now we know that there are different forms of data, from audio messages, from audio to video, we have images, we have GIF. So there is so many different form of data. To handle such wide, diverse, and huge data, it's not an easy task, but it can be easily done with the help of machine learning. And along with that, it has wide number of real life applications that we are going to discuss in the future slides. And also there are different disadvantages, including data acquisition is a really big task, and then pre-processing of the data again takes a huge amount of time and skills. The time and resources required are huge, Also, the interpretation of results may not be that much accurate if your pre-processing of the data is not done properly, and then higher error susceptibility. Now, what is the aim and objective of my project? To develop and understand ML approaches to predict COVID-19 cases. So I have taken the data set from Kaggle, which is in the form of CSV file. And here I have applied different machine learning algorithms, including SVM, NA-based random forest, and KNN to predict the result from this. The objective of my project is I have done literature review on the COVID-19 using machine learning, and it provides a methodology for implementation of the model to predict COVID-19 cases, its rate of increasing using machine learning, and it also discusses the result based on parameters such as number of deaths, states with maximum deaths. Now, what are the different types of machine learning? The major one is supervised learning, where what we do is we try to identify the pattern. So here, what we are doing is we are inputting data that is the apples, and we are stating the output also that whatever input that I am giving is an apple, right? So what is happening is when you are providing both the input that is apple and the output that's stating that these are apples, it is training the model. So in future, when something is input to the model whose properties are similar to apples, then it will automatically predict that it's an apple. So based on the basis of the given data in the past, it is very well able to predict the future. And then also in the input data, now this is the case of supervised learning, but what about unsupervised learning? In unsupervised learning, we are not given the output, we are just given randomly some sort of fruits. But what happens is, with the help of the unsupervised machine learning algorithms, it tries to identify the patterns in the given data. So it will identify that yes, these red objects have some similar properties and the yellow objects have different similar properties. The yellow objects share similar properties as well as the red objects share similar properties, and it's very easy then to identify both of them. So in this way, with the help of this, we can easily segregate the two classes, and this is the case of unsupervised learning. So you have some unknown data, you apply machine learning algorithm, and in response you find different clusters of data. And in unsupervised learning, as I've told you, there will be some hidden pattern on the basis of which you are easily able to cluster the data. And major difference between supervised and unsupervised learning is, in supervised learning we are given the labels, but in unsupervised learning we are not given the labels. There are different applications of machine learning, including medical diagnosis, where we are able to diagnose the patient what disease he is suffering from the given data. Also helps in finding the patterns and trends happening in the stock market, so that you can invest in the stocks. It is also used in online fraud detection, where the examples are credit card fraud detection and detecting the fake news that is happening nowadays. Also, it is used in filtering the important mails and the spam. So spam has some certain type of language for which your database has been trained, so it can easily filter both of them. Also, it is very much helpful in self-driving cars and product recommendations, where you all see that when you are doing online shopping on Amazon, Flipkart, and other online shopping websites. So what happens is, once you are trying to search something on electronic gadgets, let's say maybe you are searching for a phone, then in the next time when you are going through it, it is going to suggest you something related to the electronic gadget, maybe the earphones or the charger or the other type of phones related to that, right? Also, it is used in traffic prediction with the help of GPS. We are adding machine learning in GPS, and from which we can identify the areas which are highly prone to traffic. Also, if people are crossing, they are breaking the traffic rules, it can be easily done with the help of computer vision and deep learning. Also, speech recognition leading to identifying the gender, whether he is a male or a female on the given data, also used in image recognition, and lot many more applications are there about machine learning. Now coming, so these were the different examples shown pictorially. Now, machine learning has a huge application in healthcare, and these are the some given applications. We are short of time, so I have to cover the future side, so I'm skipping it. We all know what coronavirus is, and it has a major concern related to respiratory syndrome and related to cold and cough. So these are the given symptoms that we all know, because by the end of this year, 1 year, we now are out of this pandemic. But throughout the year, all of us were very much, being suffering from this particular pandemic. And again, these were the some preventions which were being told by the government for us to follow. And then I did the literature survey where I have gone through the different papers, including the title of the paper and the contribution of the paper, and what are the different methods that were being used in the papers. And this future plan is suggesting what we can do in the future. So with these literature survey, it is very helpful for me, because in my coming research I will be adding those features that I could not add. Being a MCA final year student, I have done machine learning in Python for the very first time. So in future I'm going to do more advanced work. So the methodology of my project includes the patient data. First of all, I'm going to collect the data, and then from the given data, I have to do relevant. I have to find out the relevant data set which is important for my project, and then I'm going to do data pre-processing. These are the cycles of the machine learning. Data pre-processing includes maximum time, and after cleaning of the data, and in cleaning of the data leads to cleaning of the data by removing the outliers and the null entries. I have applied machine learning different algorithms, including KNN, random forest, deep decision tree, SVM, naive Bayes, and after this, I am able to identify different COVID cases. Right. So this is the I have worked on Jupyter using Python. This is the given data set that I have used. Now let's quickly come to the results. Here you can see that here this is a bar chart which is identifying that the state which was most affected by COVID was Maharashtra. Also, I also tried to find out the maximum mortality rate, which was again Maharashtra. And then also with the given data set, I identified that which were the states which were mostly affected by COVID. These are being highlighted here with the help of the scatter plot. Also, it I tried to analyze from the given data that among the male and female who were more affected. So from my data set, I came to know that males were more affected with the COVID. And in the last, I have come to know that as the number of cases of COVID were increasing exponentially, so this gave exponential graph which says that the number of patients were increasing at a very alarming rate as compared to the number of days were increasing. And the limitation of my project was the data set that I have used was not quite huge. So in future I will try to take a larger data set, not only for India, but I'll try to include many other countries. And because COVID has not yet ended and it is still spreading in some of the countries, and even in India, we're not even sure about future whether it is again going to take shape or it is going to end. So still we have to follow the precautions if we don't want this pandemic to be spread again, right? Because the new normal has come into existence, which has made our life stabilized. And missing data is really a big challenge because it takes maximum time. If the data is not in the form, it's really a big challenge. Okay. And in the conclusion, I just want to say that I have applied some of the algorithms, but in the future, I will try to, apply different parameters on the given algorithms and come up with the good results. So this was all about my work. And in future, as I have told you already, I have took CSV files, but in future, instead of the CSV file as a data set, I would prefer the images with the help of deep learning, and will come up with good results. And these were the references that I have followed in my research work. That's all from my side. Thank you so much. If you have any queries, you're welcome.